Hello everyone. Today we'll be bringing you a review of the Uni-Ball Vision Elite Rollerball Pen. This is in bold point 0.8 millimeters in black ink. Also comes in micro point 0.5. So let's get started. A few things you'll notice about the pen. One thing that Uni-Ball advertises is the pen's sleek lines and sophisticated metallic accents. Definitely has a lot of. It's a unique color for a pen. Nice metal clip here with the little divots on it. Clip is very good quality. Strong metal clip. Highly doubt you'd be able to break this if you tried. Features a visible ink supply here, although it's kind of a thin line, so it's not really anything like you'd be able to tell through there how low it's getting until, you'd probably find out as you were writing before you saw it through the visible ink supply. This, of course, features Uni-Ball's Uni Super Ink, which is their specially formulated ink that becomes trapped into paper, which helps prevent against criminal check washing and other document alterations. So it's a good thing to use if you're writing checks or writing your signature on anything official, things like that. The ink is fade and water resistant with archival quality, and makes the color brighter and more vibrant, which we'll take a look at in a little bit when we start writing. It's acid-free for documenting and record keeping. One thing that's also neat about it is they advertise that it's airplane safe. Contains a vented refill so as not to explode or leak during airplane flights. You can see here, it's actually an interesting refill. The refill is essentially the entire pen. Point and everything, the grip. Once you get rid of that, all I have is a cap and half of a body, so there's not too much left after that. So you can kind of bring this on flights and things like that, so it's good if you're traveling a lot. So let's get started. See the comfort grip here. It's not a rubberized comfort grip. It's basically just a kind of a diamond pattern in the plastic here. It's fairly comfortable. It's not the most comfortable pen you can use to write with for long periods of time, but it's not terrible either. It's kind of average comfort. The pen does have a nice smooth feel to it as you're writing. It really flows along the paper very well. The quality of the ink on the paper is just, excellent. I really like that. I'm glad we went with the bold point for this one and not the micro because, the ink is so kind of thick and dark that having the bold point really accents the highlights of the ink itself, and it just produces these really thick, bold lines that really stand out on the paper, so I think it looks great. Get hardly any skipping here. Essentially none, really. The ink just flows onto the paper with near perfect consistency, no blobbing. The thickness of the lines remains consistent. So it just does very, very well. As you can see, we really just continue to get these thick, dark lines with virtually zero inconsistencies, which is, such a great aspect of the ink and of this pen itself. Because for what it's for, if you want to use it for anything that's kind of any kind of documenting anything's going to go into any kind of record keeping, signing checks, signing your signature, you do want that really thick, dark, bold look to the ink, and it delivers on that. Downside is you get, since it is so bold, you get a little bit of bleed through. It's not really going onto the other side of the paper, but it is, showing a little bit. So I wouldn't recommend this if you're, it's not really a pen for taking notes, things like that. It's a little bit too bold for that. So if you're anything where you had to write on the other side of a piece of paper, you kind of want to steer clear of. For the smear test, you're going to need a good 4 seconds or so before you kind of get to the point where you have little to no smearing. Anything like 0 to 3 seconds, it's not going to be terrible, but you are going to get some smearing if you, if you do touch the ink before that. See how it did with more long-term writing. Again, you'll notice much of the same, just, amazingly dark, bold text. It just looks fantastic on the paper. It practically looks like, you had this printed out professionally. Definitely one of the best looking pens in terms of ink. So I definitely recommend the bold point for this pen as opposed to the micro, because it just kind of brings out the strong points that the ink already has. You can see with the smear test, again, more the same. A little bit of smearing from 3 seconds and below. After that, essentially nothing. So give it a good 4 to 5 seconds before you really touch the ink, and then it's pretty much going to be set there for good, and you're not really going to get any smearing or anything like that. So overall, excellent pen. If it's for anything that you want to do, any signing or documenting or record keeping, anything where you need kind of permanent, long-lasting, waterproof text, and text that you're going to want to, on any kind of paperwork that you're going to want to leave for a long time and go back and reference, is an excellent pen to use. It's fairly good in terms of comfort and smooth writing. It writes fairly smooth. It feels pretty good in your hand. It's not the most comfortable pen, but it feels decent. And its strong point is obviously the quality of the ink and the quality of the text you write on the paper. It just comes out extremely dark and bold, and you'll be hard pressed to find another pen, in this price range that really puts the ink down on the paper and looks as good as this pen does. So that's about it. Thanks for watching.